The worst thing I ever did was stand up at my son's wedding and publicly accuse his new wife of attempted murder. I'm Chloe, a 68-year-old grandmother, now raising my grandson after a family tragedy. People see me as a kind, gentle matriarch, but they don't know I once had to destroy my son's marriage to save my grandson's life. That day, the air smelled so sweet. It was all jasmine and roses in the big ballroom. My son Michael was so happy. I was happy for him. My little grandson Finn was sitting right next to me. He is the light of my life. He's all I have left of his mom, my first daughter-in-law, Claire. I just kept thinking about her. But something felt wrong with Isabella, Michael's new wife. Her laugh didn't reach her eyes. Her smile looked rehearsed. It was all so perfect, and that's exactly why it felt so wrong. If you've ever had to do something unthinkable to protect someone you love, please let me know. Tell me in the comments where my confession has reached you. And if you'd like to hear the rest of my story, please subscribe. Isabella was so good at being perfect. She always knew what to say. But I had seen things, little things. Once, I saw her look at Finn with this impatience, like he was a bother to her. Another time, he fell down and scraped his knee, and she just ignored him, like he wasn't there. He'd get quiet around her, too. I kept seeing these small moments in my mind, even with the music playing. My body was at the wedding, but my mind was stuck in all those little memories. I couldn't shake them. They were all clues I had missed. And then, it happened. 1 minute, Finn was eating his bread roll, and the next, he was different. His face went pale. He stopped laughing. He grabbed my hand and pulled on it, hard, like he was trying to get me to stand up. He was so scared. I leaned in close to him, my heart pounding. "What is it, honey?" I whispered. He shook his head and pulled on my hand again, but harder this time. Then he just looked at me and whispered, "Please, Grandma, we have to go, now." He just pointed, under the table. My hands were shaking, but I reached down. I found a piece of paper, all crumpled up. It felt cold and smooth. When I unfolded it, I saw the words, "Table 8, add shrimp to the child serving." My blood went cold. Shrimp? I remember his mom, Claire, teaching me about his allergy, how dangerous it was. My mind just screamed. This was not a mistake. This was on purpose. My heart started beating so fast I could hear it. Someone was trying to hurt my little boy. It all made sense now. The little things I'd seen before flashed in my head. Like the time Isabella got mad at Finn for splashing water, and how she always seemed to forget his favorite foods. I had told myself it was just a new stepmom trying to find her way. But it wasn't. It was her being cruel on purpose. Her perfect smile, the one that never reached her eyes, was a lie, a cover. All the warnings were there and I had ignored them. Now it was clear. She wasn't just cold. She was a threat. I couldn't let him out of my sight, but I also knew I had to go. I had to find out who did this. A memory of Claire, his mom, flashed in my mind. The pain was still there. I had to protect her son. I reached over to my adopted daughter Chloe, who was sitting close by. Without a word, I placed Finn's hand in hers. Our eyes met for just a second. I didn't have to say anything. She saw the look on my face. She saw the crumpled note still in my hand. She just nodded, her face so calm. She understood. Finn was safe with her. I just stood up and walked away. I didn't say anything to anyone at the table. I didn't care what they thought. I had the crumpled note tight in my hand, and one goal: find the person who dropped it. My mind was racing. I had to know. I walked fast, almost running through the hallway, past people who were laughing and talking. I was just looking for a waiter. I needed to find one of the boys who had been serving our table. My hands were shaking. I had to stay calm. I had to expose the truth. I found a young waiter in the hallway. He was pale and nervous. "Excuse me," I said, my voice probably sounding sharper than I meant. He jumped. I held up the crumpled paper. "Did you drop this?" He looked at it and started shaking. "Oh my God," he said. He looked so scared. He told me a woman had given it to him. He was supposed to give it to the kitchen. He said he dropped it by accident and didn't know what it meant. He was just a kid. I knew he was telling the truth.
I told him to calm down. He took a deep breath. "A woman," he said. "She was in a fancy black dress with a sparkly pin on it. He said she gave him the note and a $50 bill. She told him it was a last-minute change for the boy at table 8. He said she seemed in a big hurry. I knew the dress. It was a simple black one, but expensive. She must have wanted to blend in, to not be seen." The anger in my stomach turned cold. I thanked the waiter and went back to the ballroom. I had what I needed. I went back to the ballroom. My hand was so tight around the note I could feel its crumpled shape. I had to stop the person. I had to expose them right now. I was so mad I could feel my whole body shaking. But I knew I couldn't lose it. I had to be smart. So I stood at the edge of the room for a moment, just watching everyone. I looked at the bride's family, trying to spot a black dress and a sparkly pin. Then I saw her. Isabella's sister, Sophia. She had the dress and the pin. The same quiet girl I had barely noticed. I walked right to the middle of the room. I didn't care about the music or the people. I just wanted them all to hear me. I held the note high in my hand so everyone could see it. My voice shook a little, but it was loud. "This note was meant to poison my grandson," I said. "Someone at this wedding tried to murder a child." The music stopped. The laughter stopped. A terrible silence filled the whole room. I looked at my son, who was just staring at me. And then I looked at Isabella. Her perfect smile was gone. She was good. I have to give her that. Isabella's face changed from shock to hurt so fast. She looked at Michael and then back at me. "What are you talking about?" she said. Her voice was shaking, but it didn't sound real. She made a sound like she was about to cry. "This is insane. My mother-in-law is losing her mind." She said it to the crowd, not to me. She was trying to turn everyone against me. She was trying to make me look like a crazy, paranoid old woman. I just held the note. I knew what I saw. She was lying. Michael turned to me. He looked so bewildered. "Mom," he said, and his voice was so gentle. "What's going on? You have to calm down." He wasn't mad at me. He was just confused. He couldn't see what I was seeing. He didn't see the note, not really. He just saw his beautiful new wife pretending to be sad. He was trying to protect her. He was so blind. I just stood there, holding the proof in my hand. He was choosing her feelings over the truth I was trying to show him. I felt so alone then. Everyone was just staring. I was the crazy old woman. But then I looked at my table. Chloe was still there. She was holding Finn's hand. He was safe. Her eyes met mine across the room. She was looking at me, not at the crowd. There was no doubt in her eyes, just a quiet, hard belief. She gave me a slow nod. It was a silent message. It told me she believed me completely. It told me I wasn't alone. It told me she was with me, ready to do what had to be done. My son was telling me to stop, and Isabella was trying to make everyone think I was crazy. I looked at Chloe again. She was my only hope. I watched as she calmly stood up from the table. She walked right over to Isabella. The room was still silent. I thought maybe she was going to talk to her, to reason with her, but she didn't. She just looked Isabella straight in the face, and then, without a word, she slapped her. The sound was so loud. "You evil woman," Chloe said. "You're a disgrace." That slap, the sound of it echoed in the quiet room. Isabella's face turned red. Her perfect smile was totally gone now. Her eyes got wide. She was so shocked she didn't know what to do. She opened her mouth to speak, but her voice was shaking. She looked at Michael, then at her family. She was trying to get her lies back together. She tried to say something to make everyone think we were crazy, but she was starting to lose control. I could see the evil in her eyes. It was finally out in the open. She started yelling, saying Chloe was crazy, saying I was a liar. She was so loud and angry. I just stood there. I knew she was about to fall apart completely. That's when Chloe spoke again. Her voice was so calm, so quiet. "This is a big hotel," Chloe said. "I'm sure they have security cameras in the hallway." She just looked at Isabella when she said it. The color left Isabella's face. The yelling stopped. She just froze. I knew in that moment we had won. She knew the cameras would show the truth. Her face went completely white. She looked at her sister. Sophia just started crying. She stepped forward and said, "I'm sorry. I'm so sorry." Everyone looked at her. Her voice was shaking so bad. She confessed that Isabella had made her give the note to the waiter. She said Isabella told her it was a prank. Isabella looked at her with so much hate, but it was too late. The truth was out. The whole room could see it now. The lie was over. She didn't try to lie anymore. She just stared at her sister. Her face changed completely. The perfect bride face, the one that never reached raw eyes, was gone. Her face got all twisted with rage. The hate in her eyes was so deep, it was like a new person was there. The real person underneath. A terrible, cruel person. All the people at the wedding saw it. They saw the beautiful, happy bride turn into a monster in front of them. It was horrible to see. It was also a relief. The lie was finally over. Security came and took her away. She didn't say anything. She just let them lead her out of the ballroom. But as she was leaving, she turned her head. She looked at me and Chloe, and her face was so full of hate. It was a look that will stay with me forever. I just held the crumpled note in my hand. It was over. The wedding was ruined, but Finn was safe. I knew the look was for me because I had seen through her. I had exposed her lie. It was a victory, but it didn't feel like one. It just felt tired. After they let her away, the whole room was silent again. Michael just stood there, staring at the floor. He didn't look mad at me anymore. He just looked like his heart was broken. He looked up and his eyes found mine. I saw so much shame in them. Then he looked at Chloe and then at Finn, who was still holding her hand. He finally saw everything. He saw the truth that I had seen from the beginning. He saw the person he loved and his son. He finally understood how close we had come to losing everything. He didn't say a word. He just walked over to Finn and Chloe. He got down on his knees right there on the floor. His face was full of tears, but he wasn't crying out loud. He just looked at Finn. "I'm so sorry, son," he said.
His voice was all broken. He was begging his little boy to forgive him. He wasn't talking to me. He was talking to the person he had almost get hurt. Everyone in the room saw it. The perfect groom, broken on the floor, begging his son for forgiveness. It was so hard to watch. I went over to Michael and gently put my hand on his arm. He was still kneeling there, crying. "Michael," I said, "we got to him in time. It's okay now." I helped him up. He just stood there for a second, looking at me. He looked so lost. My own heart hurt for him. I just hugged him. The crumpled note was still in my hand. He held me tight, and I knew we were okay. The big storm was over. We could start to heal.
After the wedding, everything was so quiet. We went home and just were. Michael didn't say much. He just sat on the couch with Finn on his lap, looking like he couldn't believe what had happened. We were all in a kind of shock. The terror was gone, but the pain wasn't. The days felt long. We just moved through them. Chloe was with us all the time. She didn't say a lot either, but she just made sure Finn was okay. It was a strange time, the kind of quiet that feels really, really loud. My son was so quiet and sad. It was Chloe who took charge. She didn't talk about what happened. She just acted. Every morning, she made sure Finn had a special lunch. She would put little handwritten notes in his box, just like his mom, Claire, used to do. She would sit with him while he ate. At night, she would read to him. She would stay by his side until he fell asleep. She was just there, quietly loving him. She was the one who was filling the hole in his life. Chloe was amazing. One afternoon, she took Finn to a park. Michael and I went too. Chloe brought a bright red kite. It was so simple, just a toy. But as she helped Finn run and get it into the air, I saw something. The kite soared up high, and Finn just laughed. It wasn't a little giggle. It was a real, full-on happy laugh. The kind of laugh I hadn't heard from him since before the wedding. I saw his face, and there was no fear there, just pure joy. That's when I knew we were going to be okay. A few days later, my phone rang. It was Sophia. I almost didn't answer. She was so scared, and she just kept saying sorry. She was crying. She told me how her sister had always been mean to her, how she had always made her do things. She told me Isabella had told her the note was just a mean joke. Sophia was so sorry. I told her I knew. I told her I didn't blame her. It was good to hear it. It helped me feel like the storm was really gone. One night, after Finn was asleep, Michael and I finally talked. He said he was so sorry. He cried and said he couldn't believe he didn't see it. He said he was so lonely after Claire died. He was trying to find someone to fill that empty space. He said he was so ready to believe in Isabella's perfect smile that he just ignored all the little things that were wrong. He said he was blind. It was hard to hear, but it was the truth. He was finally being honest. After that talk, things started to get better. The days were still quiet, but it was a good quiet now. It was a real quiet. One night, we all had dinner together. Me, Michael, Chloe, and Finn. It wasn't a fancy wedding hall. It was our kitchen table. The food wasn't special, but it tasted good. We were just sitting there, not saying much, but we were together. We were just a family eating a meal. No lies, no secrets. It was a simple dinner, but it felt so big. It felt real. We were just finishing dinner when Finn looked over at Chloe. He wasn't scared anymore. His eyes were clear and full of love. He took a deep breath. "Chloe," he said, "will you be my mommy?" The words just hung there in the air,
Michael froze with his fork in his hand. Chloe just looked at Finn, her eyes filled with tears. It was the question we had all been waiting for, the question that came right from his little heart. It was so simple and it meant so much. Michael just stared at them. He wasn't confused anymore. He looked at Chloe, at her eyes filled with tears, and he looked at Finn's hand in hers. He saw all the care she had given us, all the quiet little things. He finally understood. He had been so lost after Claire. He had tried to find someone to fill that place, but the real love was here all along. He saw how blind he had been to her, to the woman who had truly been a mother to his son. It was all so clear to him now. Michael's face was full of tears, but his voice was strong and firm. He reached out and took Chloe's hand. He held it so tight. "Mom," he said, and he was looking at me now, not at her. "I'm not letting her go. She's the one who is here for us. She's the one who is here for my son. I won't let her go." He said it with so much purpose. He wasn't talking about a wedding anymore. He was talking about our family. I just watched them, holding hands, and my heart was so full of love and pride. I knew he was right. He was finally choosing the person who had loved him and his son. In that moment, I wasn't thinking about the wedding anymore, or the note, or the mess. All I saw was my son holding Chloe's hand and my little grandson standing right there with them. I just felt my heart getting bigger and bigger with pride. The pain of the whole thing was still there, but it wasn't the main feeling anymore. It was all gone. I saw our family, broken and put back together. We had been through something terrible, but we were here. We were together. We were whole again.
All those years, I had thought family was just about blood, but I learned a big lesson that day. I learned that what makes a family isn't just who you're born with. It's about who shows up for you. It's about who stands up for you. It's about who has a brave and loving heart. Chloe wasn't my son's blood, and yet she was the one who protected us. She was the one who filled the empty space. She was our true family. That day, we went home. We were broken, but we were together. We were just getting through it, one day at a time. But then Chloe's love started to fill the empty space, and Michael opened his eyes, and Finn asked his question, and just like that, we were whole again. We were a family, not because of blood, but because of love and a brave heart. We were stronger than ever before. We had faced the worst thing, and we made it through. We came out the other side,